Hi, my name is Emilia Schule and I'm playing Marie-Antoinette.
Hi, my name's Louis and I play Louis in Marie-Antoinette.
Hi, my name is Gaia Weiss and I play Madame du Barry.
My name is James Purefoy and I play Louis XV.
It's a modern take on the story of Marie-Antoinette.
We look into the misogyny that went on there. We look into the way that people behaved with each other. It's really a story of a family, a highly dysfunctional family, of course.
Marie-Antoinette, she's a deeply misunderstood character because I think she's actually a very modern woman because she always wanted to preserve her freedom. She was fighting for her privacy, for her personal freedom. She didn't have a voice in political decisions, so she decided to become a fashion icon instead. This is Marie-Antoinette. She's a fascinating woman. Yeah.
Louis, so we first meet him when he's 15. They get married at age 14 and 15. And Louis is a shy, lonely, scared little boy, really. And he's also bound to become king at some point. So Louis is this slightly tortured soul, but I love him. He's a slightly little kind of strange boy.
My character, Louis XV, was born and died in Versailles. He's not so interested in the toings and froings of legislation and lawmaking and actually running the country. He's kind of bored of all that. But what he's not bored of is women.
Well, Madame du Barry was powerful. She's a modern woman. I mean, she climbed the social ladder. She worked her way up there and she's very determined.
It was a journey. I was flying into Paris for these wardrobe fittings. So the prep for me was 2.5 hours every day.
For me, it was not quite as long. I didn't have the corsets, I didn't have such big wigs. I think I was probably an hour and a half.
I actually like preparation in the morning, having some time in the morning, because it's time that allows me to be my character and like slowly merge with Madame du Barry, so she's not separate from me, like we become one.
The first thing I would do in the morning is put on the corset. We didn't close it entirely because it had to warm up. So 2 hours later, after I'm done with coiffure and makeup and everything, it's much easier to close it because it warmed up and then you can actually breathe and eat and think.
I found the costumes actually really comfortable. I know not everybody had the same experience, but they were all tailor-made. It was great because I had a posture. It was helping you with your posture.
And it helps the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you use your hands. Everything becomes different.
I mean, we started on location and we were shooting in all these
In Versailles.
in Versailles. We had all these different castles around Paris, which was incredible and slightly daunting, a bit overwhelming. And then the studios, they rebuilt, developed Versailles, the interiors in the studio. When we first went into the studios, I just couldn't believe that we were in a big warehouse as opposed to actually in the halls of Versailles.
It was definitely the most magical and also challenging time of my life, but it was unforgettable for sure.
For me, the most difficult scene to play was the feast. Just because it was very long and it was very cold. I think it was mid-October.
And there was a dance.
There was a dance, but I liked the dance.
You like a dance? I'm not overly confident as a dancer.
Looking at the history of these two characters that we portrayed, it was more of a question to understand like what was the problem between them, because as we know, it took them 7 years to consummate their marriage, to have sex. To be
The sex was a political act for them. You know, it wasn't a loving, intimate union. It was a kind of production of an heir and the union of their two countries. So it was so much pressure put on them to have a baby, to have sex and have a baby, that I think they were just two terrified children who didn't know what they were doing. So that's kind of how we
approached the sex scenes. Yeah.
You know, sex scenes are sex scenes, like fight scenes are fight scenes, eating scenes are the eating scenes. You know, you're actors, this is what you do.
We had this energy together.
Yeah, I would just stand there doing nothing and Emilia would just start laughing at me. So apparently, yeah, that was hilarious for you. We had so much fun together. We got very goofy and childish.
But also Louis doesn't take himself seriously. Really self-deprecating humor.
The funniest person on set was definitely Laura, who plays Madame Etiquette. She's crazy.
She's so funny. She's so funny. And she does these incredible kind of impressions and voices. And
who is the Marie-Antoinette of 2022? Probably Meghan Markle, let's face it. Somebody who is an outsider, who's come into a big royal family and has shaken things up a bit and upset people.
Every woman in 2022 is a bit Marie-Antoinette trying to survive.
Marie is like the 21st century eye for which we explore Versailles as this very bizarre, manipulative, misogynist place. And if I look at the world now, I do have the feeling that the world is a pretty dark place. I think maybe it's more interesting to ask yourself, like, what would she be like if she was alive now? Her life would have been different because, first of all, she would have chosen her husband, and maybe she would have just been a happy wife, you know?
She wouldn't have to kind of cover up for all the struggles that she was going through.
Oh, I think you're going to love Marie-Antoinette. Some fabulous acting going on in it. It looks so beautiful, and it'll be a version of Marie-Antoinette that you've never, ever witnessed before.
It's a show based on the human, not the character, the humans behind the characters, behind the historical figures that we know. And yeah, I think that's why people are going to love it.